Hey everybody, today is April 14th, 2021, and this week we're going to continue our talking about villain encounter cards and cards that define what makes a villain tick. So just as a warning, if you haven't played all the villains out there yet, today we're going to be talking about an Ultron card that is from the core set, so hopefully you've played against Ultron before. And if you have, you're certainly going to recognize this environment. But we are going to be talking about a card from Ultron's kit, so tune out now, go play Ultron, and come back if you haven't tried to play against him yet. Without further ado, today's card on April 14th, 2021 is the environment Ultron Drones. This is from Ultron's Encounter Kit in the Marvel Champions core set, and it's placed at setup, so this is always going to be in play. There's no way to get rid of it, it's just there. And basically, it allows Ultron to create face-down drone minions with one scheme, one attack, and one hit point. And those drone minions are going to be cards from your deck. So you're going to put a card face down from your deck. That is a drone minion. When you defeat that minion, it goes to your discard pile. He even takes one before you draw your opening hand. So he could steal Hawkeye's bow or your shield or all sorts of horrible things if he gets really lucky. It's the first ever environment card and is super promising for the rest of the environment cards that we've seen to come and hopefully more in the future. And it hits your own stuff. Nothing feels worse than losing your favorite card and then having it attack you or scheme against you. So it is a card that people probably don't look at very often because they know what it does, but it is a card that really defines and shapes Ultron's scenario. So he's going to be making a ton of drones. There's a million cards in Ultron's kit that make drones on boosts or make everybody create a drone when revealed as a treachery. But some of the key combo pieces within Ultron's kit, I think Ultron 2 is a really key piece. He gets +1 attack for each drone engaged with the player he initiates an attack against, and he creates a drone right before the attack. Then that drone is also going to attack you, so he just piles the drones on and sends them after you. What's really nice is in Ultron 3, there's a bit of a narrative shift. And in Ultron 1 and 2, when he attacks, he creates a drone or does something with drones. In Ultron 3, he's no longer creating drones. Now he's having them protect him. So all the drones get +1 attack and +1 hit points. So now you got a bunch of 2 health minions attacking you. And Ultron can't be damaged while those drones are in play. So just brutal. Another way these drones can be upgraded is there's an upgraded drones attachment card that attaches to this environment. Each face-down drone minion gets +1 attack and +1 hit point. So if you have this out there when you're in Ultron 3, all the drones are 3 attack and 3 hit points. Just insanely brutal. Just some other things that you can combo with Ultron drones. I think Assault is a pretty good combo with Ultron drones because of the way Ultron 1 and 2 work. It's going to create more drones, and it's going to be included no matter what. You have to include the standard set, so you will be seeing Ultron assault you. Another thing from the standard set is Gang Up. Gang Up can be really nasty with Ultron 2, because Ultron 2 attacks you and creates a drone, so that drone attacks you. You draw Gang Up, he attacks you and creates another drone, so now he's got +2 attack, and those 2 drones attack you. And if you had a previous drone out there from something else, he just gets buffer and buffer and buffer. So Gang Up is really nasty from the standard set, and there's an extra copy of Gang Up in A Mess of Things. So if you really want to have a painful day against Ultron, go play Ultron with A Mess of Things in it. There's a ton of stun, so it's going to eliminate the ways you have to get rid of drones, and it's also going to give 2 Gang Ups to the deck to let those drones swarm at you even more. Another annoying thing for drones is the way biomechanical upgrades works from Doomsday Chair. They don't technically have a printed health hit points, but the Ultron Drones environment counts as a printed hit points according to the developers. So Doomsday Chair can surge and then land on a drone, meaning you'll have to kill that drone twice, which can be really annoying when those drones have upgraded drones in play, or if you're in Ultron 3, especially because you can get multiple biomechanical upgrades onto different drones, so you could have lots of drones that are just respawning and not able to go away. Lots of cool villain combinations, but I think A Mess of Things and Doomsday Chair are 2 of my favorites. Alright, so what are some ways to counter drones? What's really cool is when the core set came out, there weren't a ton of ways to counter drones. You could use, Iron Man's gauntlets can ping one, Black Panther has retaliate, but the drones were very swarming. Nowadays, there are so many ways to counter drones that you can try decks in every aspect and have some little drone tech in your deck. So there's a lot of hero cards like Army of Ants from Ant-Man or switching to giant form and pinging a drone away that are really cool. A few characters have retaliate, so Captain America, Black Panther, even Hulk can get retaliate, and that retaliate 1 is going to let the drone hit you, and then you just discard the drone from your retaliate, so that could be really nice. I find Black Panther's energy daggers to be really useful against drones because you choose a player, you deal 1 damage to the villain and every minion engaged with that player, and if it's your last, it's 2 to every minion. So even when you're in Ultron 3, you're able to ping one player's drones completely dead per Wakanda Forever. So if you have multiple Wakanda Forevers, you can clear drones for multiple people. You can even do that off turn because Wakanda Forever is an event. Same thing with Rocket Launcher from the new Rocket Raccoon set. You exhaust Rocket Launcher, remove a counter, choose a player, do 2 damage to all the minions and the villain that are engaged with that player. So that's a way to sweep drones out of the way. There's other things like Black Widow's ping ability and things like that. There's lots of ways to do little ping damage to deal with drones. Within the 4 aspects, each one also has a couple cards that deal with it. Justice is lacking the most in this respect, but it also has the best time dealing with the threat that those drones might place. So first, let's go through leadership. In leadership, we've got Squirrel Girl. When she enters play, she pings everything for 1. She could then attack one if one has 2 health, or you could rapid response her and use her twice in a turn. You can even make the call her when it's convenient, so you kind of want her to be in your discard pile, so you can bring her in multiple times, clear all the drones, and she hits all the players. U.S. Agent is a 5 health ally with Retaliate 1, so he can soak a bunch of those drone attacks. You can heal him, he can basically kill a drone a turn just for taking up an ally slot. Pretty cool. One of my favorites is Hawkeye from the core set, unbiased, He comes in with 4 arrow counters, and when a minion enters play, he's able to snipe that drone for one of the arrow counters. So in Ultron 2, when he creates that drone pre-attack and he gets that attack buff, you'll kill that drone before he gets to deal his damage. So he loses that attack buff because Hawkeye has sniped the drone mid-attack. So that's a really clutch play. I think within Justice, we do have Quake, which can be very useful. Quake's going to take up an ally slot, but every time you flip to Alter Ego form, whenever a minion schemes, you can exhaust Quake to deal 2 damage to the minion. That's going to let you wipe out a drone every time you go to Alter Ego form, which is pretty nice. A lot of times, Justice doesn't have a ton of ways to do a lot of ping damage, so this can be one way that's cost-effective and keeps you with a blocker if you ever need it in a pinch. Within Protection, my favorite card used to be Energy Barrier. It's just amazing. You pay 3 true cost, 2 printed cost for a card with 3 uses. What it is whenever you would take any amount of damage, you remove a counter, and then you put that damage somewhere else. So if you've got 2 drones attacking you, they each have 1 hit point and 1 attack. The first one attacks you, you remove a counter to prevent the damage, you hit the second one doesn't even get to initiate an attack. You can also do this with multiple players. If you have 3 drones coming at you, and you have an energy barrier, and 3 drones coming at your play partner, you can prevent the damage from each of those drones, kill the second player's drones, make it so they don't even activate. So it's a very versatile card. And then Dauntless from the newest set from Groot's deck within Galaxy's Most Wanted has a way to give any character Retaliate, as long as your hit points are really high. So you're going to want to include things like Endurance and Honorary Avenger to keep those hit points up, but a great way to retaliate those drones. Aggression probably has my favorite newest sort of thread to take care of these drones. We used to have Relentless Assault that kind of did overkill, and that was about it. But now we have a ton of tech for when you defeat a minion with excess damage. So things like Chase Them Down that are sometimes situational. Almost every turn, you're going to have a drone to kill. So Chase Them Down is never a dead card in your hand. You can always attack that drone, get the bonus of removing 2 threat. Really good. Within Wasp and Rocket's deck, we have Into the Fray. 3 cost, does 6 damage to a minion. Any excess damage removes threat from the main scheme. That's amazing, because these drones have 1 health, so you're paying 4 to kill a drone and remove 5 threat, in an aspect that's very bad at removing threat. So those are 2 great cards for aggression, and specifically great against Ultron Drones. Finally, Moment of Triumph. This is going to let you stay in hero form. Again, those drones have 1 health, so when I'm playing Captain Marvel, who's in the card art conveniently, and I really need to heal, but I don't want to flip to Alter Ego form, I can, use like an energy channel or something at an Ultron drone, play Moment of Triumph, and heal for 9. That pretty much lets you stay in hero form indefinitely, which is really powerful against characters that have high scheme, like Ultron. So just some rules goofs before we get too far and lose our way. So there's not many rules goofs you can do with Ultron drones. There's some tricky things. Drones go to your discard pile when defeated. They don't go to your hand. They don't go back into your deck. They don't go into the villain discard pile, so don't place them in the wrong spot. Drones that enter play mid-activation will activate against you. I've seen that as a lot of questions, because a lot of boost cards generate a drone. So if Ultron attacks you and his boost says create a drone, that drone is then going to attack you if it's his initial attack. If it's an attack from an additional card like Assault or Rage of Ultron, those drones will not attack then. But if it's from your like villain activation, when the villain activates and then all the minions do, if you create a minion mid-activation, it hasn't been their turn yet, so they're still going to get to activate. And they do count as minions defeated. So even though they don't say minion on the card, and even though they're not going to the encounter deck discard pile or anything like that, they are minions that are defeated, which is really powerful for aggression and stuff like that. So with that, we have overviewed Ultron Drones, which is basically an overview of Ultron's scenario. We've got 2 more days to go talking about villainous encounter cards before we get back to player cards next week. I hope you guys are enjoying this series, and thanks for tuning in.